Hey everyone, I am Complex, and today I am releasing my Pokemon checklist so that you can keep track of your inventory, collection, PC of all the Pokemon card sets that you guys have. This starts at Vivid Voltage and goes all the way up to current day, so I know that doesn't include a lot of the sets before Vivid Voltage where Pokemon has been making cards for over a decade now, so there's definitely a lot that I missed out on, and other TCGs, sports cards, any type of trading card set that you guys may be interested. So if there's anything I missed that you guys want me to look forward to moving on, let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to be going through the comments and looking at what is really popular among you guys. So if there's anything that you want to see in future projects, future releases, let me know there and I will begin working on it and hopefully get that released to you guys pretty shortly. So getting into the Pokemon card set list, the download link is in my Patreon. I will have both my Patreon and the actual official post linked in the description. For now, I have to show you a preview because it is all time to go out together. But this is what the post is going to look like when it drops. You'll see the Pokemon checklist download and then all of the files beneath it. So you can click on the first one if you want to download all of the files, or if you're only trying to collect one set right now, maybe you only need Crown Zenith, or maybe you only need Fusion Strike and you don't need to download the tens of other files for you. For this example, I'm just going to download all of them so I can show you what it looks like before we hop into it. When you download all of them, you will get every single checklist here, and you can open these one by one and you can see exactly what they are. Before you do this, if this is your first time using Excel really, or your first time using an Excel macro enabled workbook, if you see the type of file here, I do want to give you guys a warning. There are macros in here, so if that scares you, it is okay. It is new to some people. You have the right to be concerned when you see macro enabled workbooks because they are running something on your computer. But the macro is what makes the card counter work so we know how many cards you have of the total checklist. So for this to work, please enable macro enabled workbooks. Go into your properties and allow them to bypass it. I will show you exactly what the macro does, and if you don't want to use it, I also show you how you can use this checklist without macros as well. So you can open the files. For this demonstration, I'm just going to open my master workbook here, which has all of the files across the bottom. I didn't do this for you guys because when Pokemon releases their next set in like a month or whatever it is, I would have to make an entirely new workbook. And everyone who uses this workbook would have to copy and paste all of the data that they input into this workbook every single time a new set comes out. And to me, that is tedious. I don't want you guys to do that. That is a great waste of time. I thought for organizational sake, I will just make individual files. You guys can input them, make one folder. You guys have all the files that you ever need to in that, and you can keep track very, very specific and niche what you guys have, what you don't. And maybe, again, maybe there's a set like Lost Origin for whatever reason. You don't like that set, then delete the file. You guys don't need that one. You're not collecting that one. So it gives you a little bit more customization and flexibility into what you guys want to collect and what you want to see. But nonetheless, all that introduction speak, well, let's get into the spreadsheet and see what it actually does, what it's capable of, what's the design, and why you should actually use it. So pretty obvious. You have the name and the card set at the very, very top, followed by every single card in the set with the color boxes, which we'll get to that with the key, the name of the card, and the rarity. At the very bottom right-hand side, you have the key. So all your different boxes, your black, red, blue. There is a yellow one that will be upcoming in a future tab that I'll click on very shortly. And then all your rarities, your commons, uncommon, rares, and this differs by the sheet. So in Sword and Shield, you have these ones, and blue is always the same as blue, but you click into Shining Fates, we have a new shiny Volt foil. So the yellow box is not going to be on Vivid Voltage because you don't see that color there. And as you're clicking through more and more, you will see that, yeah, as Pokemon starts, they're a lot the same, but you'll throw in these mixes where you get a classic collection, or you click even further, you get Radiant Rares. And, now when we're in 2024, let's just scroll all the way down to Temporal Forces, we have A-Spec rares, and we have hyper rares, special illusion rares, and all that type of good stuff. So look at the key if you were confused what these means. These are official Pokemon symbols. So this is not something that I just made up because I thought it looked nice. This is what you will see when you actually open a set of Pokemon cards and you're trying to hunt cards. But going back to Vivid Voltage, because this is where we all begin, we also at the very, very bottom have some typical formatting, shout out Pokemon and all their type of stuff. And then you have the cards collected box at the bottom. And this is why we have the macro. If you do not trust macros, you don't want to get into this type of workbook, you can disable the macro and just let this box not work. This box formats it so that if you type in that you have one of the cards, that 0 will go up to 1, and I'll get to that very, very shortly. So if that's a feature you don't care about, you don't trust the macro, you do not have to enable it. I will have the macro available for download for all paid Patreon members. That is how I'm going to be doing a lot of my future products, where all my spreadsheets remain free for every single person out there. But if you want the behind the scenes formulas, codes, functionality of spreadsheets and how you can build them yourselves so you don't have to rely on my projects and however long that they take, I will be announcing them there so that you are allowed to really dive deeper and get that code. And maybe you want something that isn't as popular. Maybe you want a Digimon card set and that's not that popular right now. So you can go make that on your own, because maybe I won't be getting to it. But getting to the actual macro of it, again, that will be posted to paid members on Patreon. That is only $1 right now. I don't know where that's going to be. I don't really care about the cost of it, but I wanted something extra to the people that are going to go out there and actually support future products of the channel. Getting in, how you use the document is each of these squares represent one card. So for some cards, you have your standard set and your standard set foil, or vice versa, or standard set foil parallel set, sorry. And some of them you only have one of them. So if you are interested in that and you finally obtain a card, you're going to type something into one of the boxes. So it can be a giant X, so that you have something really large in there. It can be a Y, because you want to say that you have it. It can be a check mark, if you like how check marks look. It could also just be a number. It could be 1 because you have one of that card. It could be 2 if you have 2 of that card. Whatever is appealing visually, nice to you, you could type whatever you want into that card. The macro is just going to notice that you have typed something into that cell and therefore that you own it. So unfortunately, this workbook is not going to calculate that you have 2 Hitmontops, because we're only looking at, can you complete the entire collection? And this collection has 326 cards, and then if you would calculate that too, you would have 6 cards out of 326. And really, you only have 5 unique. So it's a uniqueness formula written in there. So as long as you write something in there, it will go through all the different checkboxes, and you will see that you have 5 out of 326 cards. And eventually, when you fill in every single one, so if we just type X's in, and it doesn't matter if you're consistent or not, but once you complete all of them, it will show 326. I'm not going to bore you guys sitting here probably for the next hour typing in X's into every single box here, because who needs to see that? But once you complete your set, you can move on to the next one because you have successfully completed Vivid Voltage. And that works on every single one of these tabs. Obviously, again, cards collected, that second number is going to be different because every single set is a little different than one another. But that is how the workbook functions. That's how it works. If you guys want to use it, if you guys have any improvements, definitely open to all that type of stuff. There is a errors Google form and just a recommendations Google form in the description. So always wanting to hear feedback from you guys on what I can improve and how I can get better at this. So definitely let me know what you guys are thinking there. Again, it is free for download on my Patreon, and on my paid Patreon members, you will be getting the actual VBA code that lets this work. Because a little hint, this is not doable in normal Excel. You needed to create a new function via VBA that actually goes in and checks based on the borders that this is doable. So that is the end of the video there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be looking to post some more content in the near future, but definitely guys, idea is the hardest thing when it comes to releasing spreadsheets for everything. I have a lot of big projects that I'm working on right now, but they honestly may take me a few months, which sounds crazy, but when you realize how large this project already took me a few months formatting, get all of the names inputted in here, doing all of the borders. These projects take a very, very long time. So I would also love some shorter projects that maybe I can get out in a week, 2 weeks, where I can be putting these out pretty regularly while I'm working on those side projects in the background. So if there's anything you guys want to see, feel free to leave in the comments. If you guys want to keep it more private, I do have that Google form, or you can reach out to me on Discord, etc. And can't wait to keep working on projects, getting that out there. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. That is going to be this video, and I will see you next time. Peace out.